Southern Miss Sports Today with Coach Joye McNelis is brought to you by Bancorp South, right where you are. And brought to you in part by Hattiesburg Coca-Cola. Want a taste of everything? Drink Coke Zero with real Coke taste and 0 calories. The City of Hattiesburg, a proud sponsor of Southern Miss Athletics. UPS, we love logistics. One Mississippi, now open for small business. And the University of Southern Mississippi. It's great to be a Golden Eagle.
Welcome into another edition of Southern Miss Sports Today with head coach Joye McNelis as the Lady Eagles got the split last week. A win on the road at Middle Tennessee, a loss against the Blazers of UAB, and I think it's going to be one of the defining weeks of this 2014-2015 season. And Joel, will start with the most recent game, the game in Birmingham at the Bartow Arena against UAB. It was one of those games, again, very similar to the UTEP game, where the Lady Eagles, for whatever reason, energy was not where they wanted it. I'm going to give UAB credit. They made a ton of threes, over 45% from beyond the arc. They dropped in 11. And as we talked about in the postgame, we felt like that was something that really kind of at times sucked the energy out of the Lady Eagles.
You know, it did, Josh. I thought we got off to a very good start in that game, and I thought our energy was good. But again, it just kind of was draining, I guess was the word. You know, when Burroughs hits a three, she's the three-ball shooter on the floor. We make a miscue. We're doubling on the post. We were not supposed to X out to her. We did. Then again, they make the extra pass. Burroughs hit some key threes. And it was just kind of like we were a tire on a car and it hit a nail. And it's just kind of like the air began to just seep right on out. And so it was definitely a game that, you know, we fought. We tried, just like in the UTEP game, but it was like we never could get over that hump. And so that was very disappointing. I can truly say those two losses, UTEP and the game against UAB, was both very frustrating as a coach's point of view, because we felt like going into that game that if we executed like we needed to, that we should be able to compete for that win. Did we compete? Yes, but again, they got the lead up on us in double digits, and we could never make that comeback to rally back to get a victory in that game. It
was a 62-49 setback for the Lady Eagles, and you know, we talk about all the time about 40 minutes, putting 40 minutes together. We're still in search of that elusive game, but we've got to put a 30-second shot clock together. We lost Janae Smith for a three, Miranda Burroughs. Then sometimes it would be a deep contested three, but because of the long rebound, we had a tough time playing our 55 zone to go find a body to box out, and those are demoralizing when you give up a no board or give up a deep three with maybe one on the shot clock.
Well, when you give up a no board, Josh, and it equals a three ball, that really just kind of like punches you in the throat. It really does. And you have to give UAB a lot of credit, Josh. You know, they played us very well. They did a great job. They played very hard. Miranda Burroughs had to step up and score for them, their long three-ball shooter, and she did. They have a great player in Janae Smith and in Black, Chelsea Black, that's their point guard. And, you know, they're a very good basketball team. And, you know, they took advantage of every mistake that we made. And I guess to sum it up, they just exploited every mistake that we made, and every mistake we made ended up being a three ball for them.
Well, where would we have been in that ball game, however, early without Kiera Jordan? She kept us in the ball game. She comes off the bench and is an immediate spark plug and played with the type of efficiency and energy that we need her to night in, night out.
We did. You know, KJ really came in and gave us a surge. Their posts were very physical with us on the block, and we struggled with Ashley, with Vo, and with Tam. I mean, Tam has 30-something against middle, and we come in, and she does not play up to her abilities at all. And I think a lot of it is due to UAB being very physical with us inside, and we just didn't handle it. And KJ obviously is the answer if you want to come in to get into a pushing and shoving match, because she is that kind of player that can really do that and be very aggressive. And she truly was the bright spot in the game against UAB.
One of the other scores from Sunday was Middle Tennessee, an 83-59 win at home against Louisiana Tech. And Middle Tennessee was so upset because they had lost on Thursday night to our Lady Eagles. I get a text earlier before the shooting of the show from Callie, our secretary. She said, "Josh, what's the record of Middle Tennessee under Coach Insel?" I said, well, they are now 77-4, at home in home conference games, and now 118-16. So a loss in each category coming from our Lady Eagles. What a gut check win, what a come from behind win. It really validates the upside and the potential of this Lady Eagle basketball team.
You know, and we did, Josh. We played very, very well, particularly from the 12-22 mark where we were down 19 to the end of that game. We played as well as we have played in any stretch, a 2-minute stretch, 6-minute stretch, but that 12-22 stretch was spectacular. This Lady Eagle team, you know, continued to show a lot of resilience after we got down. You know, I'll back up, and to start the game, you know, we played with a lot of energy. We went in with a little bit of a chip on our shoulder, you know, that we had something to prove, and I thought our team fought really, really hard in that first half. Missed some easy shots, missed some layups, missed a few free throws, but we were able to hang in there going in at the half. But coming out of the half is when Middle Tennessee put their surge on us and really took control of the game in about an 8-minute stretch, Josh. And before you knew it, the Lady Eagles were down 19. And again, you have to give this team tremendous amount of credit. They did not fold. They did not quit. We chipped away one play at a time. We were successful one play at a time. And, you know, there were some big plays made. Durante Clemens probably had the biggest offensive board she's had in her career in a stick back for the Lady Eagles to tie that ball game up. You know, Tamara Jones really went on a scoring tear and hit bucket after bucket after bucket and was really feeling it offensively. And in turn, Josh, it generated Tamara Jones's defense as well and her rebounding. But we had multiple players that made big plays at critical times in the game that, like in the UAB game, deflated us. It really worked when we made those big plays. It really bothered Middle Tennessee.
When it was a 19-point game, what got them to that 19-point lead was their spectacular three-point shooting. We tried to zone them. We were trying to double in the post. Was it more them finding a soft spot, or were we late in our rotations? Because they got out and made 8 of their first 10 in the second half.
You know, it was twofold, Josh. Number one, we were doubling down on the post because they've got Cheyenne Parker that is a very, very good post player inside. So we were doubling down, and then we weren't getting back out in the rotation. So we said, okay, we're not going to double in the post. You know, we're just going to stay out, play one-on-one in the post. We went to really defending Cheyenne Parker hard, trying to limit her touches. And so now we take that away to be able to get back to the 3-ball. But you know how it is, Josh, when you make 1 or 2 of those 3 balls, you're feeling pretty good. And Middle Tennessee was feeling pretty good. Then all of a sudden, they went cold. They still continued to shoot. What, they shoot
45 in the game.
threes in our game. You know, they continued to shoot, but because we made the adjustment defensively and our team carried that out, it really allowed us to contest those shots. And really, I think then, as high as they got just that low, and a lot of that was due to our change in our defense.
We do want to touch a little bit more on Tamara Jones' line and look a few more of her highlights. 35 points, 6 rebounds, 4 steals. It was one of those games that just continues to validate her as one of the best players in the league.
You know, it was an unbelievable game for her, Josh, and she's truly that player that her offense ignites every other part of her game. It really, really does. You know, whether it be a big 3-ball, whether it be a great and one, whatever it may be, if she makes a spectacular play, get ready. Now she's going to guard. Now she's going to defend. She's going to rebound. She's going to be able to make something happen on the run in transition. And, you know, it was a night that Tamara got off to a great start, but really surged in that second half to really lead this Lady Eagle team to a victory over, I think, arguably one of the best teams in Conference USA.
And she needed her dynamic duo partner in Durante Clemens. 21 points, 9 rebounds, both season highs. That's the game we've been looking for Durante. In particular, her and Tam, 7 of 10 from the free throw line.
You know, again, and I do want to say that about Durante. You know, she played like we know Durante Clemens can play. She defended. You know, she's out clapping her hands when she's guarding. Our home folks hadn't seen that this year in Durante Clemens. They saw that last year. I think when in that game, we got a chance to look at the Durante Clemens of old. You know, she made some spectacular drives to the basket in that second half and finished. and really improved on that 3 free throw shooting and made a huge difference in that game. And then, like I said, the and one that she got, the big old board and the stick back that she got late in that game was huge for us. And again, her play generated, Durante's very different than Tam. Her offense is generated out of her defense. She was able to get some steals, get to the rim, get a shot, and that energizes Durante and then gets the rest of her game going. But they were an unbelievable 1-2 punch.
It was a spectacular win for the Southern Miss Lady Eagles to at that point move to 10-5 on their season, 3-1 in the league. Then after this week, the Lady Eagles stand now at 10-6, 3-2 in Conference USA. But again, that win over Middle Tennessee, a team that preseason picked to win the league, defending champs, a team that's been to 6 straight NCAA tournaments, 7 out of the last 8 years. It just shows you what this Lady Eagle team is capable of. When we come back, we'll be joined, mic'd up with Pauline Love. We caught her last week in practice. You'll love that segment. We'll also sit down with Durante Clemens, a talented junior out of Coldwater, Mississippi, the former Mississippi Miss Basketball. And then a little bit later in the program, Jordan Dupuis will allow all you Eagles out there to reach higher and improve your game. And we'll also take a first look at Rice and North Texas, who come here to Reed-Green Coliseum. We'll take a break back in a moment. You're watching Southern Miss Sports Today with head coach Joye McNelis.
Conference USA celebrates 20 years.
Each CUSA member has a history of greats.
Deanna Jackson is part of UAB history.
Old Dominion has Tisha Panachera.
Southern Miss has Jamera Faulkner.
Jerica Coley is from FIU.
And La Tech has Teresa Weatherspoon.
Together, we are the next 20 years.
The next generation of Conference USA.
Don't miss 1 minute of Who's Next.
From the very beginning, your life is made up of a series of moments. Each moment requires you to make a choice. Sometimes you don't really have much of a choice. But for the moments that you do, the big moments, what will you choose? Choose to discover your own path, to defy expectations, to be challenged. Choose to ask, what if? To make a difference. Choose to give back. Choose to do something that matters and make every moment count. Choose Southern Miss.
Woo! Yeah, fat! Woo! Access was denied that time. Oh, yeah. Oh! Cam, you looking to pass that ball. Here we go. Brent! Come on, go! Woo! Pass. You right here, you making this screen. You setting the screen. Just look at my legs. I'm right here. Yeah. Hey, go! Go! Y'all get in the business. You thought y'all should know. Back! Boom, up back. No, I know.
Welcome back inside Southern Miss Sports Today with head coach Joye McNelis as the Southern Miss Lady Eagles continue their run in conference play. You just heard our mic'd up segment with Southern Miss assistant coach Pauline Love, and as you can see, we're joined by the talented junior, the former Mississippi Miss Basketball, Durante Clemens. And Durante, to get you on the show the week after your most consistent week of the season. 21 points, 9 rebounds in the win at Middle Tennessee. Those were both season highs. And then you back that up with 14 points, a solid game at UAB. 21 points, 9 rebounds. That's something you've been building towards. Let's start there. Middle Tennessee, picked to win the league, defending champs, a team that nipped the Lady Eagles last year in the conference championship. To have that type of game and to go 7 of 10 from the free throw line, take us back through the ball game from your perspective.
I knew coming into the Middle Tennessee game, in order for my team to win, that I had to play well. Coach stressed all in practice that I would have to rebound for the team in order for us to win the game. So that was my mindset the whole time. Going in the Middle Tennessee.
And in that ball game, the Middle Tennessee game, as I know people get to see some highlights, some more of you in this segment, you were unstoppable off the bounce. But that's been your forte, to be able to get on the bounce, get to the rim. Also the pull-up jumper. The pull-up jumper is, folks, night and day different than it was a year ago. How much time in the offseason did you spend on that one move in particular?
I actually spent a lot of time on that one dribble pull up. Me and Coach worked on it sometime together, and I still work on it every day after practice so it could be deadly during the games.
One of the reach higher segments is I call it kind of the step around move. You've been kind of perfecting that move. It's one that you drill over and over. That's not an easy play. You see it a lot in the professional levels, which is where you want to be in the next level. How hard is that move to perfect? That kind of two-step, you jab step one way and then come back around the defender. That's a tough move.
It's not hard once you did it over and over and over again. Well, Coach D makes us do all different type of moves and guard breakdowns, so it kind of comes natural, easy to me now.
Well, that move, among others, the pull-up jumper, the defensive energy, one of the big wins the Lady Eagles, or big reasons why the Lady Eagles got the big win, 77-75 in overtime at Middle Tennessee. But you dug yourself the big 19-point hole. I know that's got to be getting a little old for the coaches and the players. I know the fans, it's driving them crazy. Trying to find that 40 minutes, that elusive 40-minute game. How do you think you are in the process of that?
I think at this point in the season that we're kind of putting more minutes together now, but we're still not at that point where we could say we put 40 minutes together and play Lady Eagle basketball for 40 minutes.
But when this team does play Lady Eagle basketball, even in stretches, they're very, very good. A win like Middle, that kind of validates from a confidence standpoint that you can win this league, which is the goal. What was that locker room scene like after the ball game? What was it like to be a part of it? We saw a clip at the end of the last segment. What was it like to live that?
It's something that you would want to get used to, that you would want to come into the locker room feeling, you would want to come into the locker room after every game feeling that way, and having your whole coaching staff proud of you. That was a big, the locker room was big.
Geronte, then you have to make the trip to Birmingham, and we talked about that in the last segment too. And the concern was, can you keep that energy level up? Can you keep that fire and keep that streak that you had at the end of regulation into overtime at Middle? And UAB came out, knocked down 11 threes, and for whatever reason, that sucked a lot of the energy out of the Lady Eagles. What was missing in the game against the Blazers?
I think we walked into UAB saying that, okay, this is going to be an easy game. We didn't take it as serious as we did the Middle Tennessee game because we knew that we were the underdogs. And then we went to UAB, and then we didn't come ready to play.
Geronte, moving forward this week, Rice coming to town this week. You've also got North Texas coming to town this week. And I think that a loss like the UAB loss, it's an interesting week. You can have that loss and learn from it. You can have the win that gives you the confidence to know you can bounce back and win in any situation, in any environment. But was last week the week that could be maybe the turning point to this season that gets this team rolling for the rest of the year?
Yes, I think last year we was at this same point and we went 13-0. I think it was. So now is the time. We have no more time to waste. So yeah, I think now is the time that we should get rolling.
Geronte Clemens joining us here on Southern Miss Sports Today with head coach Joye McNelis. Geronte, we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you.
She's Geronte Clemens. We'll take a break. We'll come back, and when we continue with the program, we'll reach higher with Jordan Dupuis. All you future Eagles out there, Jordan's going to give you some tips to take your game to another level. And then we'll also have our first look segment coming up as well, as we'll take our first look at Rice and North Texas, both coming to Regreen Coliseum later this week. We'll take a break. Back in a moment. You're watching Southern Miss Sports Today with head coach Joye McNelis.
This is Associate Head Coach Jordan Dupuis helping you reach higher with the Lady Eagles. Today we're going to talk about the wing on ball. I'm here with sophomore Kiera Jordan and our sophomore point guard Alex Cohn. What I want Alex to do right here is get on the wing. Kiara's going to start here on the block. She is going to sprint out to the wing. She's coming out. She's making sure she gets her angle for Alex to come off. She wants to try and get Alex open over here at the elbow, so that's where her rear end is going to face. It's Alex's job to make sure she uses this screen. She's going to come off low and hard. KJ's going to be low and wide with her base. Alex's going to suck KJ's defender to help, and then she's going to drop a nice bounce pass on the roll, okay? Let's come back here, KJ, and talk about how we want to roll, okay? We want to always make sure we keep vision of the basketball. So as Alex comes off, she keeps vision, rolls, keeps the defender on her behind. She drops the pass off, and she scores it, okay? Let's go hard with it, full speed, 2 quick reps, ladies. Come off hard, come off hard, come off hard. Good. Nice job. Good. One more time. Good. That's how we want to utilize the wing on ball. Help us reach higher.
Welcome back to the final segment of Southern Miss Sports Today with head coach Joye McNelis. It's time now for our first look as we just reached higher with Jordan Dupuy. Great chance each and every week for our Eagles to go back and have an opportunity to be able to improve their games. And this week, as we take our first look at the Rice Owls and the North Texas Mean Green, these are a couple of teams that are vastly underrated because, you know, they have Division I talent just like we do. They put their pants on one leg at a time. So, again, to look at their records, that's a mistake. Well-coached basketball teams, extremely talented, but teams that are just in transition mode.
You know, they are both very good, Josh. I'm telling you, we've spent time in scouting both of those opponents, and you know, you look at them, you look at UAB, you look at UTEP, you look at us, you look at UTSA, La Tech, they're all the same. They really, really are. And I've said that over and over again, that, you know, I don't think that their record is a reflection of how good they really are. I mean, Crystal Porter for Rice is very, very good. You know, their point guard that they have is very good. She really directs traffic and gets the ball. You know, and they just play very well together. Lang, that they have inside, is kind of the player that does all the dirty work for them. She's the aggressive one. She's physical. You know, she's going to score anytime they need a big bucket. They've just come up short. Like, we've been able to win those games in overtime. You know, they've come up on the short end of the stick. But they are very, very good, and they've played people very close. Coach Greg Williams, as you may know, that we've been dear friends for years and years. You know, he coached in the Women's Pro League. He had a lot of success at Rice. You know, Becky Hammond, that is coaching now with San Antonio Spurs, was Greg Williams' recruit and player at Colorado State. You know, he coached Jessica Kuster, that was unbelievable in Conference USA. So he's got some good players. Right now, I think we had to adjust without playing with Jamera. They're having to adjust playing without Jessica Kuster because she's very good, and that's a huge talent that they lost. So they're coming in here, Josh, and we can't have anybody look at their records and think, oh my goodness, this should be an easy one. It will not be. I think and I've said it every game, the games will go to the wire. And I truly believe that against Rice because, again, they have all the pieces of their puzzle from last year, just like we do, minus one player. But it's going to be a real challenge. Then North Texas, Coach Mike Peterson does an unbelievable job. They lost a couple of players last year. One of their players transferred to LSU. They had some turnover. But I will tell you what, they've got a young lady by the name of Brescia Wynn that is one heck of a player. She is a 3-4 player. She plays 2 different positions. Whereas Olivia Jones at Middle Tennessee, Janae Smith at UAB, now we have Brescia Wynn at North Texas that presents some mismatch problems for us. And that's what we face against North Texas is mismatches. And so we've got to be able to handle that defensively because Brescia Wynn could explode and get 30 points on us. We cannot allow that to happen. And then she's got a solid core that's around her. They're going to throw some junk defenses at us, you know, and we've got to be able to handle that, to be able to execute, play with poise, to be able to compete and try to get a win over them. So in summing both of those teams up, Josh, you can't look at their records. I mean, they have been very, very competitive. They're in every ball game. It's just unfortunate the ball is bounced the other way on them. Lady Eagles will have our hands full, and that's why we must have large crowds coming out to watch us this weekend.
And Coach, before we let you go, a couple of more things here at the end of the show. One of those in particular, the energy and also scoring needed from some of other players on this Lady Eagle roster. From an energy standpoint, a week where the Lady Eagles come in a 6-way tie for third. How fortunate are we to be 2 games in a row at home? And then players like Brooke Rhodes in particular, that we really need their scoring. They've got to find a way to take it to that next level and get it done.
You know, Brooke has struggled in the last couple of games in shooting the basketball. The thing that Brooke Rhodes brings to us is they can't double off. They can't sag off of her because she can score the ball. You know, and so she allows us to be able to make better entry passes to the post with just her being on the floor. But we've seen Brittany Dinkins step up against Nicholls State, have a huge game. We've got to have that in conference play with Brittany Dinkins. Brooke Rhodes has struggled to score recently. We've got to have the game she played against Louisiana Tech. Got to step up. We saw some great highlights of Joye Martin in that Middle Tennessee game. Joye Martin's got to step up and score for us. We've seen a little bit of what Ashley Folsom can do. So we have multiple players, Josh, that can really bring a lot to the table. You can't forget the freshman flash in Megan Brown that really was a huge key for us in the win over UTSA. Showed some great signs against UTEP. So we have a lot of pieces of the puzzle. We've just got to put that puzzle together and make a beautiful picture.
Coach, as we always talk about, we've got to defend Reed Green, and fans, we want you to be our 6th player on the floor. We need your support coming up on Thursday against Rice, 6 o'clock tip, and then again on Saturday, 4 o'clock tip against the North Texas Mean Green. For Coach McNelis, for Geronte Clemens, I'm Josh West, and then for Pauline Jordan and Craig and everybody who contributed. Until next time, you've been watching Southern Miss Sports Today with head coach Joye McNelis.